So Dean Guthrie, this week, the GW School of Business, along with the Institute for Corporate Responsibility, hosted a major conference looking at corporate responsibility. And in your opening remarks, you talked about the privilege that corporations have in society and the importance of educating students about that privilege. Tell us a little bit about why you think that's important.
Sure. First of all, let me just say it's so wonderful to be at an institution that is really putting these kinds of issues front and center under the leadership of people like Professors Tim Fort and Jennifer Griffin. It's just, it's a fabulous moment to really be considering what is going on with corporate responsibility and to really kind of think deeply about these issues, not just from a normative perspective, but to really kind of think about the business case for issues like corporate social responsibility. At that conference, of course, one of the keynotes was Ed Freeman, who is a complete guru and total star in this area, and it was wonderful just to see all of those people coming together on the academic and practitioner side. As you mentioned in my opening remarks, I talked a little bit about the privilege of working in corporations, and one of the things that I like to remind students of, whether I'm teaching a leadership class or a management class, or even a class on the economic reforms in China, I like to start out the conversation with really getting students to think about what it means to work in the institution of the corporation. The corporation in American society today is the most privileged institution in the global economy, perhaps besides nation states. Nation states have their own sovereign rights, but many multinational corporations today behave as if they are citizens with sovereign rights that extend far beyond what we often think of them as having. And so if you think about it in terms of taxation and their contribution to the state, if you think about it in terms of their liability in front of the law, and if you think about it in terms of their ability to actually influence those systems through lobbying and a number of other venues, it really is an important thing to understand just the power of that institution. Now, why is that important for students? That kind of statement can come off in some ways as just sort of thinking about a critique of corporations, and I don't mean to frame it that way at all. Actually, I think it's just important to understand the power of these institutions and to understand, to help students have an understanding of the dramatic privilege that they have as walking into these institutions, being employees and ultimately officers of the organizations. And so what I really like to emphasize to students in this area is that corporations are unbelievably powerful institutions in modern society today. And that power, with that power comes privilege and responsibility in working within those venues. And so it's just very important that we educate our students to really think about what that privilege means so that they're thinking about issues like systemic risk or like the responsibility of the corporation in contributing to society, and just think more broadly about what those stakeholders are and how they're influencing them. So it was a remarkable thing to see that being discussed on a broader level this weekend.
Thank you.